Quie Iesu Domine, dona eis requiem.
Good morning, and this is a longer video since I missed yesterday's post, so let's just do a 10-minute reflection on life and faith if you're up for it. If you're not, everybody listens, this is voluntary anyway, and it's not like I'm trying to promote this thing so I get more followers. This is just my opportunity to speak about things and rant about things. I got a hair I need to trim there? Maybe not. Anyway, distractions. Because I know if it gets promoted in my political views, which are not always aligned with those further up the food chain, might cause problems. And I'm aware of that. I don't think anything I'm saying is wrong at all. In fact, I firmly believe all the political things I've espoused on this little YouTube channel. But let's talk about life. One of the fundamental things for Christians that they have to remind themselves of again and again is that God did not create us out of necessity. God doesn't need us. In fact, by everything I can measure from human history, God creating us, if He did create us, which I believe He did, was it not a gain? It was not a positive for creation. Letting mankind loose on the world has not been overall positive gain for creation. When you probably think of the numerous species we in our recklessness, our mindlessness, wiped out because we ate them or we needed their space and we moved them out, however you might look at it. To think how much of human history is saturated in bloodshed, where the one thing humans did really well was kill each other. And those are sobering thoughts. And yet God created us because in His joy, He wanted to share life with us. In His beauty, He wanted us to appreciate the beauty of creation, which is just a prequel and a faint reflection of His awesome beauty. And above all, God wanted to create a being of free will that could learn to love. And a being that was in time, which He stands over and above, as well as the angels. The angels are beings outside of time that had a choice to love God or reject God. And hence we have angels, we have demons. But in time, in creation, in this very frail, brief, passing world that we exist in, and it is frail. What is billions of years against eternity? Nothing. Not even a speck of dust. And yet, God shared all this with us because of His joyful generosity. And to give this unique creation, humanity, the possibility to seek and to find Him, to inquire, and to become like Him. That's the invitation given to us. It is a scandal in history that if God is Lord of all, like one and only, there's no, big football rivalries of gods up there in heaven like the ancients thought, where everybody had their team, and the sign that your God was the God was when you wiped out your neighbors and their gods failed to protect them. I mean, that was how the ancient world thought of deities. They demanded things from us, and they provided us with victory and necessities of life. It was like a barter system. We give them worship, they give us goodies. We fail them, they fail us. And I think that's how most of humanity, even the people in the Western Hemisphere who had no contact with the ancient cultures of the old world, thought the same thing. I mean, apparently it was the demise of the Mayan culture. Their priests were doing other sacrifices, and they had too long of a drought, and their people finally got pissed off about it and rose up and killed a lot of them. Because if I'm doing A and you're promising B, and I keep doing A and you keep promising B, and eventually you don't deliver, the people who are tired of not receiving get angry, and they rise up. And I think that's what happened to the Mayans. That's just an aside. This is kind of a philosophical grab bag. But anyway, the scandal of history is that God chose one individual, a couple, and his wife, a couple, to reveal his presence to. Abraham and Sarah. Speaking to Abraham and then appearing to both of them in veiled form. Good morning. Good coffee. I believe in theology it's called the scandal of particularity. Why would God choose the Jews of all people? I mean, Abraham and Sarah are good as dead, and God starts a new life for them. And God blesses them with a family, even though they tried to shortcut it, because Abraham and Sarah thought, well, God can't give old people babies. I mean, they have no idea what God is capable of, or they don't even know his name. It's just Lord, which is a title. And, they try to shorten it with Hagar and Ishmael, which is a disaster. And then, lo and behold, they have Isaac. And Abraham trusts God so much he's even willing to sacrifice Isaac, which is pretty amazing. And we have everything following from there. But it is a scandal that the Lord of all would reveal himself and have a chosen people to begin with. Aren't all people his people? And the answer is yes. We look at it now. But he started with the Jews, and he was doing something unique there, perhaps as a way to teach all of us. Because God's relationship with Judaism is our infancy, our toddler years, our primary years, and then our adolescence. And then Christianity is the young man and woman set free on the world. And Christianity has had its lumps. It's by far from perfect. It is often acted like a 20-year-old, capable of great decisions and great desires, profound idealism, and profound corruption. And so you look at, history that way. But to believe that God did all this and then sent his son, Jesus Christ, incarnate, not procreated like all the other pagan gods did, where Zeus came down and had relations with some woman to give birth to X. The belief that Mary conceived in her womb by the power of God. And some people want to blame, that's Christianity's hang up with sex. No. Christianity's hang up with sex is that it's powerful. It's dangerous. It warps our mind in ways that nobody wants to be honest about. It is a powerful thing that God created that many ancient cultures worshipped. But that Jesus Christ is God's incarnate word. True man, true God, enfleshed in the womb of the Blessed Virgin Mary, not through an act of intimacy, but by God's willing it, and by the Word's willing it to come and take on flesh, to empty himself out. So it's one of my hopes for unbelievers out there that if you're seeking the truth earnestly, you may find Christ at the end of that journey. And the only thing you have to say if you meet the Nazarene is, Jesus, I trust in you. He can do the rest if you truly believe in him and believe he is the way, the truth, and the life. There is no scriptural basis and probably no church teaching for this hope of people at the end of life finding God. But it is not contrary either. After all, God created all of humanity to be saved by his Son. And people through no fault of their own can choose not to believe. They can never have encountered the truth. They've encountered horrible versions of Christianity, which can jade people greatly. How can you espouse something so great and be so horrible? People have had traumatized experiences with the faith in their childhood or adult life. But, my hope is that God gathers all of us together. It's His desire, and it's my hope, and it's one of the reasons I'm a priest. I don't like to preach all dogs go to heaven, but I am sure hopeful the vast majority of us make it there, according to our Father's will. God bless, and happy Saturday, everybody.